If you have allowed a man to become the focal point of your existence, you have drifted to the very sidelines of your own story. Too many women spend their lives in a state of constant, anxious anticipation, always hoping for a sign that they are valued. You find yourself waiting by the phone, overanalyzing every text, and offering your total loyalty to men who have done nothing to earn your respect or your time. This habitual, overfunctioning, and desperate need for outside validation is exactly why you feel so drained and perpetually undervalued. This is the tragic mistake of the woman who believes that being infinitely accommodating will finally buy her the love she craves. The reality is that men generally act in their own self-interest, and they will take as much as you are willing to give without offering anything specific in return. When you prioritize a man over your own peace, you are communicating to the world that your value is negotiable. You become a placeholder, someone who fills the space until he finds what he actually wants, all because you were too afraid to say no. A black cat understands that she must be a bit more selfish because she knows that she is the only person responsible for her own happiness. If you do not learn to decenter men immediately, you will continue to accept crumbs of attention while starving for true respect. You are currently trapped in a cycle of ceding your power and making yourself smaller to fit into a man's world. This mindset never results in a high-standard relationship because it is built on a foundation of female sacrifice. You think that by doing more and being more available, you will prove your worth, but you are actually doing the opposite. You are showing him that you are easy to manage and even easier to ignore. It is time to stop being the girl who insistently runs after someone who isn't even walking toward her. True sovereignty begins the moment you realize that no man is the prize. Your own life and your own energy are the only things that truly matter. This excess of donation kills interest because it removes the element of challenge and mystery that a high-value woman possesses. When you are always available, you are no longer a priority. You are a convenience. You have been taught that being a good partner means being a martyr, but that is a lie designed to keep you emotionally dependent. A woman who centers a man is a woman who has forgotten her own power. She is someone who reacts to his every move instead of setting her own pace. You need to understand that your emotional independence is not a threat to love, but a prerequisite for it. Think about the physical toll this takes on you. The anxiety of waiting for a text, the knot in your stomach when he ignores your boundaries, and the exhaustion of trying to fix a situation that you didn't break. Your body is telling you that this dynamic is toxic, yet you continue to pour your energy into a bottomless pit. You are treating a man like he is the source of your oxygen when he should just be a guest in your garden. If he is not facilitating your life or making it easier, he is a drain that needs to be addressed. You cannot be a black cat while you are still begging for a seat at a table where you aren't respected. The first step to recovery is acknowledging that your good girl persona is actually a defense mechanism born out of a fear of being alone. You have been conditioned to believe that you are incomplete without a partner, which leads you to tolerate mediocre or even malicious behavior. This ends today. You are not a supporting character in his story. You are the lead in your own. Decentering men means taking that massive amount of energy you spend analyzing his actions and investing it back into your career, your fitness, and your personal growth. You are reclaiming the throne that you voluntarily vacated. When you decenter a man, you stop being bothered by his absence and start being genuinely satisfied with your own presence. You no longer depend on a specific outcome to feel successful or happy. You have a life that is full of friends, family, and passions that have nothing to do with him. This is the detachment that makes a black cat so formidable. She is not cold, but she is certainly not desperate. She knows that she is complete on her own, and any man who enters her life must prove that he can add value to an already magnificent existence. If a man stops prioritizing you, the black cat response is not to ask why, but to automatically stop prioritizing him as well. You do not beg for attention, and you do not negotiate for basic decency. You simply move on with the grace of a predator who knows her worth. You are not here to prove yourself to anyone with infinite acts of service. You are here to be honest, authentic, and sovereign. If a relationship is not reciprocal, it is not worth your time. You must be willing to open the door and let him walk out the moment he fails to meet your standards. The power of the black cat lies in her ability to walk away without looking back. She does not need a relationship to be happy, because she has already built a life that she loves. She enjoys her work, she takes care of her physical vitality through fitness, and she nurtures her relationships with those who truly love her. She is serene, peaceful, and unbothered by the games that lesser people play. By decentering men, you are finally allowing yourself to breathe. You are no longer performing for an audience of one. You are living for yourself. Are you finding this shift in perspective interesting? Make sure to subscribe to the channel right now so you never miss a single lesson on how to reclaim your power and live as a true black cat. We are just getting started on your transformation.
Why Elena refused to chase.
Elena stood in the center of her latest project, a sun-drenched penthouse where every texture was a deliberate choice. As a high-end interior designer, she understood that a room only works when every element serves a purpose. Yet she realized she hadn't been applying this logic to her dating life. For weeks, she had been seeing a man who was becoming a ghost in her schedule, leaving her feeling like an afterthought in her own week. Elena felt the familiar tug of the old programming, the urge to send a long explanatory text to fix the vibe and bridge the gap. She looked at her phone, her thumb hovering over the screen, feeling the heat of frustration rising in her chest. But then she remembered the core law of the black cat. Energy is a finite resource that must be protected. Instead of typing a paragraph or demanding an explanation for his silence, Elena simply set her phone face down on a marble countertop. She chose to prioritize her own serenity over the chaotic pursuit of a man who was clearly not facilitating her life. She took a deep breath, feeling the tension leave her shoulders as she decided that his lack of effort was all the information she needed. There was no drama, no crying to her girlfriends, and certainly no begging for a seat at his table. She walked out of the penthouse, locked the door, and headed straight to her favorite hot yoga studio to sweat out the lingering remnants of his energy. Later that evening, Elena dressed in a sleek, silk slip dress, not for a date, but for a jazz night with her most trusted inner circle. She laughed over glasses of wine, discussing art and upcoming travel plans, completely unbothered by the fact that her phone remained silent. When a notification finally popped up from him with a low-effort greeting, Elena didn't feel a rush of relief or excitement. She saw it for what it was, a crumb of attention designed to keep her on the hook as a placeholder. She didn't reply immediately, nor did she feel the need to explain her silence. She simply went back to her conversation, glowing in the warmth of real connection. The next day, while Elena was focused on a complex project at her studio, the man called her, likely sensing that his grip on her attention was slipping. A few months ago, she would have dropped everything to answer, but now she let it go to voicemail without a second thought. She was in the flow of her career, and her time was far too valuable to be interrupted by someone who only reached out when he felt bored. She understood that her value was not tied to his validation, and that she was already complete without him. By shifting her focus back to her own goals, she felt a surge of genuine power that no romantic interest could ever provide. When they finally spoke briefly, he tried to make an excuse for his absence, expecting her to provide the usual emotional labor to smooth things over. Elena listened with a calm, detached expression, offering no long explanations or emotional outbursts to satisfy his ego. She asserted her standards with surgical precision, stating clearly that she only participates in dynamics that are reciprocal and consistent. When he attempted to deflect and repeat his vague behavior, Elena didn't offer a second chance or a compromise. She recognized the sign of a drainer and made the executive decision to revoke his access to her life immediately. Elena didn't view the end of the connection as a failure, but as a successful filtration process that left more room for her own growth. She spent her weekend visiting an art gallery alone, enjoying the silence and the beauty of the exhibits without needing a man to validate her taste. She felt a profound sense of peace, knowing that she was no longer waiting for someone else to make her life exciting. Her happiness was rooted in her fitness routine, her thriving career, and the deep bonds she shared with her family. She was the architect of her own joy, and the structure she had built was solid, elegant, and entirely her own. As she stood on her balcony that night, looking over the city lights, Elena realized she was finally living as a black cat. She was warm and amorous with those who earned it, but she was utterly detached from anyone who dared to treat her as an option. She wasn't cold or bitter. She was simply finished with the exhaustion of centering men who didn't deserve a place in her orbit. She had opened the door for him to leave, and in doing so, she had opened a much larger door for herself. She was happy, she was successful, and most importantly, she was finally free from the need to be a pick-me.
The power of the void.
The presence of a black cat is never a given. It is a high-value privilege that must be earned through a man's consistent effort and genuine respect. You must understand that when you stop making a man the sun of your universe, you finally allow your own light to shine without being obscured by his shadow or his whims. A woman who is comfortable in her own silence is a woman who can never be manipulated by a man's noise, for she has mastered the art of being entirely unbothered. She moves with the calculated precision of a feline, never rushing her words and never stumbling over her own dignity, just to keep a connection that has already begun to rot. This magnetic power begins the moment you realize that you are the star of your own show, and that your energy is a currency far too precious to be spent on being a placeholder. The black cat does not engage in the frantic dance of the golden retriever, who begs for attention and wags her tail at every crumb of validation thrown her way. Instead, she stands in her own sovereignty, observing the world with a keen, analytical eye that separates the facilitators from the drainers with surgical accuracy. She is the shadow that disappears the moment the light of respect is dimmed, leaving a void that no amount of cheap excuses can ever fill again. When she withdraws her attention, she isn't playing a tactical game. She is simply returning to her natural state of being complete and satisfied on her own terms. She is the architect of her own emotional ecosystem, ensuring that no outside force can disrupt the internal harmony she has worked so hard to cultivate through self-discipline. She refuses to spend her vitality on anyone who treats her as a temporary convenience or a backup plan in their unorganized and mediocre life. By reclaiming her focus, she is essentially taking back the throne that she once voluntarily vacated for someone who didn't even know how to worship it. Like a feline moving through the night, she is precise and firm in her decisions, never needing to make a loud scene to prove that she has reached her limit. Her power lies in her ability to walk away in absolute silence, a move that speaks louder than 1,000 desperate paragraphs or tearful phone calls ever could. She knows that her value is not a topic for debate, and certainly not something that needs to be negotiated with someone who lacks the vision to see it. If the resonance between her and a partner is no longer mutual, she simply opens the door and lets the energy flow out without a single regret. The black cat is happy because she has built a life that is full of purpose, from her fitness routines to her flourishing career and her deep, authentic social bonds. She does not depend on a specific romantic outcome to feel successful or worthy, which makes her the most dangerous person in any room where games are played. She is serene and peaceful, possessing a level of inner quiet that acts as a shield against the chaos of men who seek to drain her for their own benefit. She is a finished masterpiece that requires no external approval, no likes on a screen, and no ring on a finger to be whole. Her silence is a manifestation of her absolute control over her environment and her refusal to settle for anything less than a high-standard reciprocal relationship. She understands that the nature of a man who truly loves her is to make her life easier, and she will never tolerate a man who makes her life more difficult. She is warm and amorous when the respect is earned, but she becomes cold and detached the moment her standards are compromised or her boundaries are crossed. This flexibility is not a sign of instability, but a sign of a woman who is deeply attuned to her own needs and her own value. You must learn to decenter the opinions of men who have not proven themselves to be worthy of your time, for their gaze is often a distraction from your own growth. The black cat knows that she is the only person responsible for her happiness, and she takes that responsibility with a level of seriousness that leaves no room for mediocre partners. She's not afraid of being alone, because she enjoys her own company more than the presence of a man who makes her feel lonely while he is standing right there. She is the captain of her own ship, steering toward horizons that she has chosen for herself with total clarity. By choosing to be unbothered, you are effectively taking the remote control of your emotions back from the hands of people who never knew how to handle them. You are no longer performing for an audience of one, trying to prove your worth with infinite acts of service that are never truly appreciated or returned. You are living for yourself, investing in your own physical vitality and your own intellectual expansion, without seeking permission from anyone else. This is the ultimate liberation of the black cat. She is free from the need to be liked by those she does not even respect. When you master this detachment, you become a force of nature that demands respect not by force, but by the sheer weight of your undeniable and unshakable self-worth. You are no longer a girl who hopes that a man will change. You are a woman who knows that you can change your environment the moment it stops serving you. Your life is an aesthetic space that you have designed with care, and you are the only one who decides who is allowed to enter and who must stay outside. You are the gatekeeper of your own peace, and that is a role you perform with unapologetic and feline elegance. Always remember that being a black cat does not mean you never feel pain, but it means you never allow that pain to dictate your actions or lower your standards. You process your emotions with honesty and courage, but you never let them turn you back into a golden retriever who begs for a seat at the table. You are the table. You are the feast. And you are the queen who decides who gets to sit beside you in your royal court. For those who choose to disrespect you, you ensure that they have a clear path to exit your life so you can return to your throne. If you are tired of feeling like a supporting character in your own dating life, it is time to master the mechanics of sovereignty with the Black Cat Playbook, a strategic manual for emotional independence and high-standard relationships. This isn't just a guide. It is a tactical blueprint designed to help you navigate the complex terrain of modern romance without losing your center or your dignity. From learning the art of the silent exit to understanding how to vet for high-standard facilitators, this manual provides the concrete strategies you need to transition from a girl who hopes to a woman who knows. You can find the link for the Black Cat Playbook in the description down below.
Your own path must come first.
The logic of decentering men is rooted in the simple truth that you cannot lead a life that you have placed in someone else's hands. When a woman makes a man the primary source of her emotional stability, she grants him the power to disrupt her peace at any time. Decentering is not about isolation or coldness. It is about reclaiming your role as the protagonist of your own story, so that your happiness is never a hostage to someone else's behavior. A black cat understands that her internal world must be vast and well cultivated, making the presence or absence of a partner a detail rather than a defining factor. By shifting your focus, you transform from a reactive person into an autonomous one who operates from a place of abundance and genuine self-possession. You must recognize that the habit of overinvesting and overfunctioning is a losing strategy that eventually leads to deep resentment and burnout. Men generally respect what they have to earn and value what they cannot easily predict or control, which is why your independence is your greatest asset. When you decenter a man, you are communicating that your time and energy are precious resources that are not available for a discount. This logic dictates that you are a complete entity with your own hobbies, career goals, and social structures that remain intact regardless of your relationship status. This level of self-completeness creates a natural shield against breadcrumbing and low-effort tactics that often affect those who center men. A feline does not wait for an invitation to take up space or seek permission to exist. She moves with a natural confidence that her needs are justified. Similarly, the logic of the black cat requires you to stop seeking external validation for your choices and start trusting your own internal compass. When you are no longer looking to a man to tell you who you are, his ability to disrespect you vanishes because you no longer value his opinion over your own. You become unbothered by the ebb and flow of his attention because your sense of worth is filled by your own personal achievements and character. This is the psychological shift that allows you to remain calm and detached, even when a relationship is facing challenges. The nature of a man who truly values a woman is to make her life easier, but he can only do this if she has established a life worth facilitating. If you have no boundaries and no world of your own, you offer him nothing to respect and everything to consume, which leads to a draining dynamic. Decentering allows you to observe a man's actions from a distance, giving you the clarity to see if he is actually adding value or just creating noise. It is the logic of the filter. By keeping your energy for yourself, you only allow those who can match your frequency to stay in your orbit. You are not being mean. You are simply being a steward of your own life. A black cat is happy because she has mastered the art of detachment, which is the ultimate form of emotional freedom and high-standard living. Detachment means that while you can love deeply, you do not rely on a specific person to maintain your sense of self or your daily joy. This logic prevents you from becoming a placeholder in a man's life, because you are too busy being the main event in your own. You understand that your career, your fitness, and your connections with family and friends are the pillars of your success. When these pillars are strong, a man's mistreatment cannot topple your world. It can only result in his swift and silent removal from it. The psychological weight of centering a man often manifests as chronic anxiety, as you are constantly trying to decode his messages and anticipate his moods. By decentering him, you delete this mental clutter and free up massive amounts of energy for your own creative and professional growth. You move from a state of hoping he likes me to deciding if I like the way he treats me, which is a far more grounded position of power. This shift in logic is what makes you magnetic. People are naturally drawn to those who are self-possessed and indifferent to the approval of others. A woman who centers herself is a mystery that requires real investment to understand. Think of the feline's posture, always poised and aware, but never desperate for the hand that feeds it or the attention of a passerby. The black cat logic applies this to dating by ensuring that you never deliver more than you receive, and that you never tolerate a lack of reciprocity. If he stops prioritizing you, your internal logic should automatically trigger a withdrawal of your own energy to maintain your internal balance. You do not need to explain this change in behavior because your actions are simply a reflection of the current reality. You are not a victim of his inconsistency. You are a judge of it, and your verdict is based on your standards. Success in your life is defined by the quality of your peace and the strength of your character, not by the presence of a man on your arm. Decentering men allows you to cultivate a sense of serenity that is unshakable because it is built on the foundation of your own discipline. You are honest, courageous, and authentic, and you know that these traits are valuable regardless of whether a man recognizes them or not. This logic empowers you to walk away from traitors and liars without a second thought because you know you deserve a life free from mediocrity. You are the prize in your own life, and the sooner you internalize this, the sooner your reality will change. The black cat understands that she doesn't need to prove her value through infinite acts of service or by being the perfect girl who asks for nothing. Her value is inherent, and her standards are the price of admission for anyone who wishes to share in her energy and her time. By decentering men, you stop performing and start living, which is the most authentic way to attract a partner who actually respects you. You are no longer a pick-me because you have already chosen yourself, and that choice is the only one that truly matters for your future. This logic is the key to unlocking a life where you are the one who facilitates your own happiness. Finally, the logic of decentering is a gift of time to your own soul, allowing you to grow with grace and focus rather than bitterness. When you are not constantly drained by the drama of unreciprocated effort, you have the vitality to pursue your passions and nurture your real support system. You are a whole person, a sovereign being, and a black cat who knows that her life is a work in progress. Men will come and go, but your relationship with yourself is the only one that will last a lifetime, so make sure it is healthy. Decenter the noise, center your own growth, and watch as your entire world transforms to match your new frequency.
Does he add or subtract?
The process of decentering men requires you to become a skilled observer of the energy that enters your space, specifically distinguishing between a facilitator and a drainer. A facilitator is a man whose presence naturally makes your life easier, supporting your goals and respecting your time without you having to ask. He is consistent and reliable, and his actions align perfectly with his words, creating a sense of security that allows you to remain in your peace. You don't have to decode his messages or wonder about his intentions because he makes them clear through tangible effort and a genuine desire to see you thrive. A black cat values a facilitator, not because she needs him, but because he genuinely adds a layer of quality and ease to the life she has already built for herself. On the other hand, a drainer is a man who consumes your emotional labor, time, and mental energy, while offering very little of substance in return. He is often the source of the chronic anxiety that keeps you glued to your phone, waiting for a sign of consistency that never truly comes. A drainer expects you to do the heavy lifting in the relationship, often positioning himself as a victim of his circumstances to avoid taking real responsibility for his lack of effort. When you center a man like this, you find yourself constantly exhausted, trying to fix a dynamic that was designed to take from you rather than give to you. Recognizing this early is essential to protecting your physical vitality and maintaining the focus you need for your career and personal passions. A feline can sense when a situation is no longer beneficial and will instinctively reposition herself to maintain her comfort and safety. You can apply the same intuition to your dating life by auditing how a man's impact affects your daily peace and your long-term goals. If you find that you are more stressed or distracted since a specific man entered your life, it is a sign that the connection is siphoning off your power rather than fueling it. A black cat does not ignore these feelings or try to fix a man into being more supportive. She simply observes the reality and chooses to step back. Your life is an environment that you have worked hard to balance, and it is okay to be protective of who you allow to influence that harmony. The filter of the black cat is built on the foundation of reciprocity, meaning that you only remain in situations where the energy exchange is equal and respectful. If a man stops prioritizing you, or begins to treat your presence as an afterthought, your natural response should be to let that connection fade out. You are not being harsh. You are simply allowing the relationship to reach its natural conclusion based on the level of importance he has assigned to it. A facilitator will notice your standards and rise to meet them because he values what you bring to the table, whereas a drainer will usually drift away once he realizes you aren't going to overfunction for him. This is a positive outcome because it leaves you with more space for yourself. One of the clearest signs of a facilitator is his ability to communicate honestly, even when the conversation requires a change in behavior or an adjustment in the relationship. He respects your standards because he has high standards for himself, and he understands that a woman who values herself will not tolerate inconsistent treatment for long. A drainer, however, will often use vague tactics to keep you around without ever committing to making your life better or easier. He wants the perks of your companionship without the responsibility of being a consistent partner. The black cat knows that any man who feels pressured by her boundaries is simply a man who was hoping those boundaries didn't exist. To maintain your emotional independence, it is helpful to look at a man's current actions rather than the potential you think he might have one day. A man might be charming and fun, but if he consistently causes you stress or ignores your needs, that charm isn't actually serving you. Decentering means looking at the reality. Is he making your life easier today, or are you spending your evening analyzing why he didn't do what he said he would? A facilitator shows his value through his presence and his protection of your peace, while a drainer shows his lack of fit through neglect. Your role is to be the curator of your own life, deciding who is actually healthy for you to be around. Think of how a feline handles someone who is being intrusive or disruptive. She doesn't make a scene. She simply moves to a different room where she can be at peace. When you identify a connection that is draining you, you don't always need a long conversation explaining why you are moving on. You can simply choose to stop giving that person your primary attention and focus back on your career, your fitness, and your friends. By becoming unbothered, you are reclaiming the energy you previously spent trying to make him understand your worth. A man who truly values you will never need a lecture on how to treat you with basic decency and respect. The black cat is happy because she refuses to carry the emotional weight of men who are not willing to meet her halfway. She knows that she is complete alone, and she has no interest in being a therapist or a coach for a man who hasn't done his own work. If a man shows a pattern of being untrustworthy, she understands that the foundation for a healthy relationship isn't there. She does not waste her time trying to investigate or argue. She simply realizes that this person isn't the right fit and moves forward with her life. This level of detachment is what allows her to maintain her serenity and her focus on the people and projects that truly bring her joy. Your career, your physical health, and your relationships with your family are the real pillars of your life, and any man you date should be a positive addition to that structure. If someone is distracting you from your work or making you feel too drained to hit the gym, it is a sign that the balance is off. A facilitator will encourage your growth and respect the time you spend on yourself because he wants you to be the best version of yourself. By applying this filter, you ensure that your circle is filled with people who elevate you. You are the one in charge of your own emotional landscape, and you have every right to ensure it remains a peaceful place to live. Finally, remember that this filter is about self-respect, not about being cold. You are a woman who is honest, authentic, and ready to be a great partner when the respect is mutual. But you are always prepared to choose your own well-being over a situation that feels like a struggle. You don't need to be calculated. You just need to be observant enough to know when to give and when to protect your peace. By mastering this filter, you are ensuring that your life remains a place of joy and success. You have the freedom to decide who stays and who goes, and you can make those choices with the quiet confidence of someone who knows she is already enough.
The Playbook. 6 Steps for Autonomy.
The first step in your playbook is the immediate reclamation of your schedule and your mental space, by prioritizing your own goals over a man's potential plans. Instead of keeping your weekend open in hopes that he might reach out, you should book your fitness classes, schedule that dinner with your family, and commit to your work projects as if he doesn't exist. When you fill your life with meaningful activity, you naturally stop waiting for a text because your time is already accounted for by things that actually provide a return on investment. This isn't about being busy for the sake of looking busy. It is about genuinely valuing your own life more than the possibility of his company. A black cat is never sitting by the door. She is busy exploring her own world, and if a man wants to join her, he must fit into the high-standard life she has already established. The second step is to master the art of mirroring effort, rather than overcompensating for his lack of it through excessive communication or forced attention. If he takes several hours to reply, you do not need to play games, but you should naturally find that your energy has shifted towards something more productive in that time. If he stops making your life easier or showing consistency, you simply stop doing the small things that make his life easier, returning that energy to your own physical vitality and personal peace. You do not need to announce this change or explain it with long, emotional paragraphs. You simply allow the relationship to reflect the reality of his current investment. Like a feline that moves away when a hand stops petting it, you instinctively withdraw when the warmth of reciprocity is no longer present. The third step is to implement a firm policy for clear signs of disrespect or a consistent lack of effort in how he treats you. If you have communicated your standards once and he repeats the behavior, you do not offer a second explanation or a third chance. You simply remove your presence. This step is crucial because it proves to yourself that you are honest about your boundaries and that you respect yourself more than you want a relationship. For connections that aren't serious, this withdrawal can be silent and immediate, as your energy is too valuable to be spent on people who haven't earned a serious discussion. By being willing to step away from situations that don't serve you, you protect your long-term serenity and ensure you never become a placeholder for someone else. The fourth step is to diversify your sources of joy so that no single person holds the keys to your emotional well-being. This means deepening your connections with your siblings, your parents, and your inner circle of friends, while also pouring energy into your creative or professional passions. When you have multiple pillars of support and fulfillment, the fluctuations in a man's behavior lose their power to destabilize you. You are not a solitary figure, but a well-connected woman who enjoys her life regardless of her romantic status. A black cat is happy because her world is populated by people who truly value her, and she never allows one person's absence to create a vacuum of misery. By spreading your energy across your entire life, you remain balanced, serene, and consistently high standard. The fifth step is to stop the habit of explaining yourself or teaching a man how to be a partner, and instead, focus on being a neutral observer of his character. When you decenter men, you realize it is not your job to fix their communication, or point out their lack of effort more than once. You simply observe whether their current version is a fit for the peaceful life you are designing, and if it isn't, you move on without a sense of failure. This saves you months of emotional labor and protects your mental health from the exhaustion of trying to change someone who isn't ready. You move through the world with the precision of a cat, stepping around obstacles rather than trying to push them out of the way. Your energy is for your growth, not for his rehabilitation or education. The sixth step is to cultivate a radical level of comfort with being alone, seeing it as a time for luxury and self-discovery, rather than a void to be filled. You should reach a point where you genuinely enjoy your own company, your own hobbies, and your own silence more than the presence of a man who makes you feel lonely. When you are no longer afraid of being on your own, you become immune to the fear of a connection ending, which gives you the ultimate power to uphold your standards. This comfort with solitude is the foundation of the unbothered mindset, as it ensures you never settle for crumbs out of a fear of an empty house. You are the architect of your own happiness, and you only invite people into your space who can respect the peace you have cultivated. By following this six-step playbook, you are ensuring that your life remains a place of success and serenity, regardless of the romantic landscape around you. You are no longer a girl who is easily swayed by crumbs of attention, because you have a strategic roadmap for your own emotional independence. You move through the world with the quiet confidence of a woman who knows she is complete, and that self-possession is what makes you truly magnetic to high-standard people. Decentering men isn't a temporary tactic. It is a permanent lifestyle shift that places your well-being at the heart of everything you do. You are the architect of your own destiny, and you are finally building a life that you truly love, where your standards are the only law that governs your time.
Choosing yourself above all.
Decentering men is not a one-time decision, but a daily practice of choosing your own peace over the chaos of unrequited effort. You have seen how the black cat operates, not out of a desire to be cold, but out of a deep necessity to remain whole and unbothered. By shifting your focus back to your career, your fitness, and your own internal world, you are finally allowing yourself to breathe in a way that is no longer dependent on a man's approval. You are reclaiming the energy that was once wasted on being a placeholder and investing it into a life that truly reflects your high standards. This is the path to real emotional independence, where you are the primary source of your own joy and success. You now possess the roadmap to transition from a girl who hopes into a woman who knows exactly what she deserves and how to protect it. Every step you take toward your own growth is a step away from the anxiety of the pick-me cycle and toward a future defined by respect. Remember that you do not need to prove your value to anyone. Your presence is a finished masterpiece that only requires your own validation to be significant. By choosing to be observant rather than reactive, you are protecting your serenity from those who only know how to drain. Your life is an environment of your own design, and you have every right to decide who is worthy of entering it. The transition to becoming a black cat is a journey of rediscovering your own power and learning to trust your intuition above the noise of others. It requires honesty, courage, and a willingness to walk away from anything that does not align with the peace you have cultivated. You are no longer waiting for a man to make your life easier. You are the one facilitating your own path and making your own dreams a reality. Do not be afraid of the silence or the solitude, for these are the spaces where your true strength is built and your most authentic self is revealed. You are the architect of your own happiness, and you are finally building a structure that is solid, elegant, and entirely your own. The world will start to reflect the new frequency you are vibrating at, attracting those who can match your standard of respect and care. Stay centered, stay unbothered, and continue to prioritize the one person who will always be there for you, yourself. We want to hear your story and strengthen this community of sovereign women. Leave a comment below sharing the exact moment or the specific situation when you realized you needed to decenter the men in your life as soon as possible to reclaim your peace. Sharing your experience might be the trigger another woman needs to wake up her black cat energy. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel to continue your journey of self-development and emotional independence. Your new phase begins now, prioritizing the only person who truly matters, you.
If you found this helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you support the content, and I'll see you in the next video.